Well, my friends, the market is already shaping up to be exciting. We have to take a look to see what's going on, why the markets might be down a little bit today. We got a little bit of evidence that kind of shows that perhaps we're on the right track. We'll see during the regular trading hours how much it gets affected by some of the big news that has come out recently. I'm going to share that with you in this video. We'll also go through the technicals. If you guys haven't seen my NVIDIA stock price prediction and earnings projection, by the way, you should absolutely check that out. That video is out and available for you so you can get that best preview possible prior to the earnings on Wednesday in the after hours. Again, that's my NVIDIA stock price prediction and NVIDIA earnings projection out through the end of next year. So you're going to want to check that out. Also, if you guys want to check out the technicals that I have on this before they hit YouTube, check out the link down in the description for the Patreon. Click that, sign up. You can also see my buys and sells and talk to me and my community members. And then also, if you want to learn to do technical analysis trading yourself, there's a link for Stockmo Academy down in the description. You can click that, sign up using the code word DOCTOR. It's going to save you a ton of cash. We'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, check out this news that we got out tonight. And this is not necessarily happy news. So what we have, Putin issues warning to the United States with new nuclear doctrine. So I think that this is something rattling the markets in the pre-market hours this morning. And so what we see is the SPY, so the S&P trading down just a little bit, and then the NASDAQ 100 also trading down a little bit through their ETFs that track them, SPY, QQQ, IWM is also down a little bit. We have TMF actually moving up a little bit on this, like a bit of a flight to safety. And then companies like Lockheed Martin are also up a little bit in the pre-market hours. So we have some evidence that this really is the news that's rattling the markets. This is no small thing to see this and have those tensions come out. That geopolitical risk, if you will, is something that will rattle the markets. And it looks to be that as though that's the case right now for what we're seeing. So let's take a look at the charts, see what's happening as a result of this news, among the other things that are out there. And in the pre-market hours, let's actually go down to an hourly chart for SPY. There we go. And you can see as soon as we hit the pre-market hours this morning, following the post-market yesterday, we actually came back down to this support line that I have here for you, right around that 586 level. It's 585 and change, close to 586. And yesterday, we peaked out on this resistance line up here just shy of 590. So today, pushing down below that is going to be significant for us if that happens. If the market decides to trade down that way, we don't have a lot of support to sit on until we get down to about 575, with some areas in between. I'd say about 580 is also where we can find that support. So about a percent down if we do trade down that way. If we're going to trade sideways, then we'll be in between the 586 and the 590-ish. We'll call it off these two prices that you can see on the middle of your screen. We really got to get up above the 589.34 if we're going to have further upside. If we get rejected off that again, well, then we're going to be looking for support. So keep those prices in mind. You can see over the last two trading days what has happened with that, and they really have served as support and resistance. So they're good lines to follow. Watch for us falling down below this, although you can see that we keep on getting some buying pressure down below this value, down below the 585.76 level. So if we go over to the Qs, we also see the price down in the pre-market hours this morning, just a little bit from where it closed yesterday. So honestly, it looks like we're actually recovering a little bit with the NASDAQ 100. There we go. Let's go down to the hourly chart on that one. We can see the pre-market hours. You can see that drop that we got. And then now we're starting to rise back up a little bit. So I don't know that that's something that news would be just temporarily rattlesome for the pre-market. And then regular trading hours are going to be something that turn out to be not so bad for us. As a matter of fact, a little bit bullish for us. We'll see. If so, 505 is that line to look for. If instead we tumble down, we have a big fat area of support here for the Qs that we'd have to tumble down through about 497 to actually get down to 494. And then after that is where we really start to fall off through that support. So if this support holds and if we can continue to trade higher, we actually have room up to 505 again, which would be pretty cool because that's about 1% up from where we're at right now. If instead we tumble, we have about 1% to lose down to the bottom of support. And then after that, support goes all the way down to 487. So another about 1.5% down below that support. So definitely something to be watchful for. And the threat of the nuclear war, now mind you, the whole Russia risk has already been sort of known. The nuclear risk sort of already known. The fact that it's just news about a change coming out from Putin, the market's going to worry about that at least a little bit. And I think that we can see that. If we just take a quick stop by TMF, you can see for the Treasury, kind of getting beat up over a time here, but in the pre-market hours up at 45.36, whereas yesterday it closed at 44.56. So we'll see if that strength continues for us. That does put us up above resistance at 45.12, and then up above that 46.61 to the upside is where we find that next resistance after that. if we can open above that 45.12 number, we definitely want to watch for that. And if we look at Lockheed Martin, for example, LMT, there we go. You can see in the pre-market hours we're up. It looks like close to 1% in the pre-market hours after quite a tumble. So you could say some of it would be from falling as much as we have recently, because this thing was most recently over $600 per share, now down to about $530. So down about 10% of its value, going all the way back to, it looks like towards the end of October, around the time its earnings came out. Big old drop following the earnings. And today, getting a little bit of a bounce coming off of that. Like I said, likely news of that nuclear stuff with Putin. If we go over to IWM, trading down a little bit. As a matter of fact, it's hard to see the line is right in here. You can see the tag over here for the pre-market at 227.65. We're right sitting at support. If we tumble off of that, we could probably catch some support at 224. The bigger support's coming in at 222. If instead we bounce, now mind you, we're up above the parallel channel, the bull channel that we've been in for a decade and a half at least, which we tend to sell when we're up here. And so we'll see if we catch that support on that trend line that happens to be going right through the middle of your screen right here. If we can bounce, we have to get up above that and resistance at 230 to have that upside back up to 236. To the downside if support falls, 224 to 222. NVIDIA fell out of the near-term bull channel yesterday that has been trading, and although in the pre-market hours this morning trading up a little bit, trying to get back inside this area of support, is now an area of resistance thanks to yesterday's candle. So we want to be watching for that. We need to get back up in that channel. We need to get back up above these moving averages that you see on your screen right now. The fact that we dangled off of them is a near-term bearish thing, so we need to be watchful for that. Maybe the market for NVIDIA, with some of the overheating issues with the Blackwell chips that have come out, causing a little bit of worry. But honestly, I think that NVIDIA is strongly positioned enough that unless there's some serious issue that can't be resolved, I think that they'll rotate out of this just fine. So I still have full faith in NVIDIA to solve this issue for the overheating. And as long as it isn't something that renders the complete system unusable, that would be quite the meltdown that we would see. I think that this is just some near-term bearishness that we're going to get. Earnings are on Wednesday in the after hours. So be on the lookout for that. For me, my daughter's got accepted into, well, one National Honor Society, the other one into National Junior Honor Society, and my other child is 17 months old today, so she didn't make it into any honor societies yet, but I'm proud of all three of them nonetheless. So on Wednesday in the after hours, while NVIDIA is doing the reporting, we'll be getting ready to head off to the Honor Society meeting, but I can't wait to pick through the data, be waiting for that with bated breath. If you guys haven't seen my NVIDIA stock price prediction and earnings projection, make sure that you check it out so that you know what's coming our way and what could potentially happen based on the results that we get and the guidance that we hear of from Jensen Huang during that earnings call. It's going to be nothing short of exciting. Right now, options market has an 8.5% swing in either direction priced in. So the prices on those options are going to be stupid high right now going into those earnings. It's definitely more of a seller's market if you're going to play that lottery going into their earnings. And so we're just going to have to see what becomes of that. So if you guys want to see my buys and sells, see my technicals, talk to me more about NVIDIA, the link is down in the description for the Patreon. Click sign up for the Patreon. Head on over to the Discord, talk to me and my community members, see my technicals before they hit YouTube, and we'd love to have you over there. And then also Stockmo Academy, do these technicals yourself. It teaches you exactly how small, easy to digest pieces, also gives you access to the bread recipe trading strategy, which is an absolutely astounding trading strategy that I use myself. Stockmo uses himself, and you can get it cheaper by using the code word DOCTOR, DOCTOR, when you sign up for that course. And there's also a learning community that goes along with it. And guys, incredible value there that's being added to all the time. I think you'll enjoy it. Make sure you use code word DOCTOR when you sign up. It's going to be a massive discount. Back to the technicals on this. So for NVIDIA, we got to get back inside the bull channel, got to get back on top of 142. If we do, maybe finally we hit that 150 mark that's been eluding us, that's been eluding us for quite some time. As a matter of fact, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row of trying to hit 150. Just couldn't hit 150, but those earnings are coming, and I think we're going to hear some pretty solid news, some pretty great news. On to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's taken another run, currently trading up above 92,000 per BTC, and well, we're in overbought territory. Is the momentum out of this? Well, we're still on top of the 5-period moving averages, and so if there's a cooling period, there absolutely can be. Staying above the 84,447 is going to be very critical for us. Staying up above the 89,645 is going to be very helpful. We have 95,419 to look out for. Should we start to pop off of this, that we could see some resistance happening there. And with the overbought status that we're at, I still think that we have in the somewhat near future here, between now and the end of the year, I think we're going to hit that six-figure mark for Bitcoin, even if we do have a small cooling period in between. So that's something that I'm watchful for right now. So far, getting that move upward. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but Michael Saylor came out on, I think it was Valuetainment, and was talking about a $13 million per BTC future, which is really incredible from where we're at right now. So, I mean, the fact that we're not even at 100,000 yet, and he's talking about something going above $10 million is just an incredible multiplier from where we're at right now. So for Michael Saylor, if you want to talk about Bitcoin bull, that man is so all in, and MicroStrategy going right along with it and talking about the returns. It's no wonder that MicroStrategy moves the way that it does. So if you guys haven't checked that out, you should just look up Michael Saylor Valuetainment. And I have no connection to that channel. I'm way too small to even have a connection to that channel. But I got to tell you, I watched it and just listen to him talk. Like, it's hard not to be excited about Bitcoin when you hear him talk about that kind of stuff. So if he's looking for further Bitcoin maximalists to come out there, man, the guy's got one heck of a sales pitch. And and that doesn't mean that you listen to him and you jump all in. I mean, you still do whatever you're going to do. But man, he makes a pretty hard sell when you talk about Bitcoin. So let me rotate out of that. We're going to hop over to Tesla here. Tesla putting out narrow body and long wicks. That's indecision for the stock. Where's it going to go for right now? Well, that's what the indecision is for. This line up here at 350, highly critical for us. We got peekabooed up above it once, but couldn't quite close above it. We closed right at 350 and then tumbled off of that. And then we took a nice little bounce off of that just above the 50% Fibonacci, which is excellent. The 61.8 for this is at 356. And we just barely touched that the last time, got rejected, bounced off the 50. And so right now we have this candle, spinning top candle, that's saying, this thing could really go in either direction. We'll watch and see. And so you can even see that we're pretty much right in between the two lines that I have on here for resistance and support. And so we'll keep an eye out for Tesla. I'm a long-term bull on Tesla, that I have my own position in Tesla to add to over time. And I'm excited to see where it's going to go. There's even talk of what exactly is going to happen with robotics. That's the next big thing. I know it's already been talked about for Tesla, but that's really like, as the EV market kind of struggles a little bit, like eyes kind of turn towards other revenue sources and robotics, energy storage, energy production. Those are all things for Tesla. Like, just how big could this get? And how soon are we going to get there? And Elon talks a good game about that as well. And I think that Tesla is very well positioned to take advantage of that robotics space, and that they're still top dog in the EV space as well. It really does help out. Guys, make sure you check out the link down in the description for the Patreon. See those technicals. Like I said before, at YouTube, see what I'm buying and selling. Talk to me and my community members. Check out the link for Stockmo Academy. Use code word DOCTOR when you sign up. It's going to give you a massive discount, and I think you're really going to like what you see over there. Guys, thanks for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you in the next video.